morning, guys. Hope everyone's well. This is the Recovery Podcast. My name is Dr. Rob Kelly, the Addiction Doctor, along with Jennifer Lovely. Good morning, Jen. How are we doing?
I'm good, except like my hair is acting all funny because I'm in a hotel and I use the hotel shampoo.
Uh-oh.
It sucks.
Yeah, not the best shampoo in the world. Yeah, you know it's not the best shampoo when it says suitable for hair, body, feet, hands, dogs, cats. Gives the game away straight away, doesn't it?
Oh my God, yes.
But I have talking about hotels, I have a confession to make. And I think you're allowed to take them, but every time I go in a hotel, we take all them little bottles and everything and stick it in our guest bathroom. Ooh. It looks really cool, but it's got Hilton stamped all over it, but we just turn it the other way around. I don't know why I do that. I always have to steal something.
Really?
I don't know why that always. I don't know what it is. A pen, a robe. Every time I steal a robe, they charge me for it. What's that about?
Is that you're like a little kleptomaniac?
Yeah, I do have a flu. Yeah. No, I know I am. I can't help stealing. It's only little things, and it's kind of the things that give away most of the time. But it's like when I buy something that's expensive, I want something free.
Right.
I tell the guy, wait, what can I have free? Like, I'll give you a hat. Oh, nice. I'll take the hat. But
well, it must be how, like, from a psychological point, it must be how, like, you justify spending the money.
That's it. Buy a $100,000 car and get a free fucking hat.
There you go.
And I'm happy. What's all that about? But the only thing is with me, with buying new stuff, is on the way home, I'm thinking, what else to buy? Yeah. I don't want that anymore. I'm bored of it now by the time I get home.
Oh, yeah.
Just like ex-wives. But let's not get into that.
Well, the good news is you don't actually buy them. You actually choose them in the beginning, Rob, and then you've had to buy them later.
Yes, definitely. And then rebuy. It's crazy. Hey, guys, live in San Antonio this morning. It looks like it's going to rain over here. Very overcast. What about you, Jen? Where are you now? I know you're in a hotel, but whereabouts are you?
Oh, yeah. I'm in Southern California. It looks like it's going to be sunny and warm.
Nice. I love that. Yeah. I had a bunch of gardening to do yesterday, lifting boxes, carrying stuff for Jay Bear. Felt like an old man when I sat down. I couldn't even get to the restroom. I was looking like felt like I'd been battered to death.
Yeah. Your needs to get back on that Peloton and move.
I know. Every single day, Jen. Every single day for the last 6 weeks. Every single day, I've walked past it and said, one of these days. Hey, Bob Schmalz is on the show. What a fantastic story this guy's got. We spoke to him pre-show, and it's going to be a good show. It's going to be one of them guests that's going to be nitty-gritty. We're going to ask some questions that we shouldn't be asking as normal. Me and Jen actually go there, not like the other guys who think it. And he's going to answer the best that he can. But some of his story is amazing. So stick around, guys. We will be back straight after this with Bob Schmalz. Hey, welcome back to the show, guys. My name is Dr. Rob Kelly, the Addiction Doctor, along with my co-host Jennifer Lovely. This is the Recovery Channel podcast, and our special guest this week is Bob Schmalz. How are we doing, Bob, this morning? How are you?
I'm good. I'm in sunny Chicago.
Do you know, I've been to Chicago airport, but I keep saying I must visit Chicago and Boston is the two places that I want to go. You know, I'm just going through your stuff, and I've seen a lot of court documents and I've seen a lot of release documents with someone they sent you, but I've never seen, and I quote from the release papers, a severe drug addict, he should serve his full term. Damn, that's a bit of a hard break. Tell me what that was about.
Well, you know, I think that was the third time I was getting ready to go down to the penitentiary. I had already been down twice. And yeah, they wanted to run everything consecutive, but my attorneys were able to get them to run everything concurrent. I think that's because I participated in the Gateway treatment program in the Cook County Jail, and every time I went to court, Gateway gave me a letter to bring to the judge, a favorable letter, and it worked. Put it like this: the last time I got sentenced, my mother was at court, okay? And we went to a 402 conference I had a public defender. She came out. She said, "You know what? You're screwed." She said, the state's attorney said you're criminally orientated, highly intelligent, streetwise, and very aggressive. Okay, and that's why they wanted to give me the full term. So, but they didn't. So the judge asked, said, "Is there anyone here for Robert?" And my mother stepped up, and she was very emotional. And she said, "Good morning." She goes, so Your Honor, I don't expect my son to come home. I know he hasn't been good. And the courtroom laughed because I've been in front of the judge for probably 45 minutes already. She said, he has a severe drug problem. I would only hope that you get him some help for that. He says, well, I have a letter here from Gateway, and they seem to think that he's going to do well. But because of all my priors, I couldn't get drug and alcohol treatment to the street. So I had to do it in jail, which I was glad. So she said, there's one more thing I want to say. She said, my son has never stole from his family. And he said, well, that's admirable. And then the state's attorney turned around. She looked at the judge. She said, well, what about the rest of the city, Your Honor? So my mother started crying. And right then I seen the pain I had put her through. And I'd already made a commitment to myself that I was done. And so when I got out, I mean, I threw her birthday parties, anniversary parties. I mean, and, I had to make it up to her. I mean, she prayed for me. Every time when I was a kid, 15 years old, she'd be praying for me. There'd be somebody tooting a horn, and she goes, there's men outside in that car. Who are they here for? I go, they're for me. Because I was 15 running around with 21, 22-year-old guys. I was on the streets of Chicago. I was a criminal before I became a drug addict. Okay, so I actually had two addictions. I was addicted to life on the street, and back then in the 60s and 70s, it wasn't like today. You didn't have the technology, and I had these hopes and dreams of securing my financial future by stealing and selling drugs. Well, I was just kidding myself. But
So, Bob, talk to me about what that was really about. What was it that had you want to steal from such a young age and be on the streets? What was so romantic about that?
Well, where I hung around, it was a park. It was called Haas Park. There was a bunch of older guys there, and I was just looking for the pat on the back. You know what I mean? To look good in front of them. See, I wasn't a tough guy. I wasn't a fighter, but I would always prove that I had, for lack of a better word, balls by some of the gutsy things that I would go out and steal. I was just looking for the pat on the back to get recognized.
Yeah. Well, so where in your family did you not get the acknowledgement that you needed?
Well, my father worked nights. He was never, I can't listen. I know kids don't come with directions, and he had to work. My mother had to work. And I never really had a relationship with my father. I did with my grandfathers briefly. But, when I was young, I had dreams of playing hockey, and I played amateur hockey. I actually played on a state championship team in '73. But I wanted to start playing hockey when I was 12, rink hockey, and he wouldn't let me play hockey because he didn't want to pay for teeth. So that put me at a little disadvantage because I didn't start playing rink hockey till I was 15. But today I take care of my father. He's 92. I've been his caretaker. He's in independent living. He was in the hospital last week. He's putting him in a nursing home now, but I've been taking care of him for the last 3 years, But so the acknowledgement from all these older guys, I was always schooled by the older guys. And it was a badge of honor to be standing on the corner with these career criminals and to get recognized by everybody.
Yeah,
it's amazing where we go for adoration.
It built my ego up beyond belief.
Of course, because you never really got it home.
Yeah. I thought I was the shit, But come to find out, it was just a false. I was an actor. I mean, because I was pretending all the time, But the streets, like I said, was different then. There was no technology. and with a little street smarts, and a lot of courage, you could, just about doing anything. So I rolled out from stealing bikes to shoplifting, stealing Italian knits and leather jackets for the older guys, robbing breweries. I ended up, before I even, when I was 19, I was selling pot and PCP. I was dealing to one of the biggest black motorcycle clubs in Chicago, the Midnight Riders, and I was making a lot of money. But then I started snorting heroin in 1973. I snorted it for a year before I shot it. But the money was phenomenal. And of course, that gave me a big ego. Cars, clothes, go into the bar. Hey, here's Bobby's here. I got people coming up to me. It was just all fake,
Didn't you actually join or associate with the Midnight Riders, Bob?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I was in their club one day. Lawman was the president, and I tracked him down. They moved to Arkansas. He's passed away. When I met him, I was 20 at the time. He was 38 or 39, but you could tell he was the alpha male. He ran the show, but he took me under his wing, and so I'm at the club one day, and they call it a sect. I go every once in a while, smoke some reefer, have a beer with them, and hang out. And this crazy man DJ, he was the DJ. He goes, "Hey Bob, somebody wants you at the door." So I walk over to the door, and it's at 16th and Hamlin, the heart of the west side of Chicago, the roughest neighborhood in Chicago at the time. I was a young white kid. I looked out of place, obviously. So there's a detective car parked right at the curb. And there were 2 Chicago police officers in uniform in the detective car. Well, down the street, which was unbeknown to me at the time, there was a black gangster named CW, Charles Wilson. He had a 24-hour spot going selling heroin and cocaine. Okay. And I had brought Lawman a little bit of cocaine. And word travels there. And the cocaine you would get in those neighborhoods on the street is nothing like I could get. I would get the raw stuff. So I brought Lawman a little package. So the police officers called me to the car. They said, "Are you Bob?" I said, "Yeah." They said, "Look, you can sell them all the PCP and reefer you want, but don't bring none of that good white man cocaine around here." And I said, "Not a problem." So as it turned out, CW turned informant. They called it the Marquette 10 because he took 8 police officers down. But yeah, I would go hang out with them. I've been to Lawman's house and ate dinner with them. I mean, these are guys who were from Arkansas. I mean, they were decent guys. They were family men. But I'd have to go hang out with them and rub elbows because that was my cash cow.
Wow.
Makers.
Yeah. So quite a story. So talk to me about what it was like when you got sober. What was did you have the white light moment?
Well, I was in jail when I got sober. Okay. It's a funny story because it was 1989. I was an altar boy when I grew up, and I had been on a coke run for a couple of days, and I needed, I was busted. I had holes in my shoes, and I looked like a bum. So I'm laying on this couch, and I said, "Wow, you know what? I was an altar boy down here. I think I could remember where they hid the collections." So I walked down to the church. I got in the church. The church was up on the 2nd floor. I walked in and opened the doors, and I could see the sunlight coming in. It was a bright, sunny day, and I walked in the church, and I started to get emotional. And I went in the back room where the altar boys got dressed, and then the room where I thought that where the collections were, I never made it there because I made it to in front of a statue of the Virgin Mary. And I kneeled down there and I started weeping. I started crying my eyes out. I said, "I can't live like this. You got to get me out of this." And now I need a shot of dope at this time. So I look, there's a plastic container next to her with a $5 bill in it. So I looked at the statue. I said the Hail Mary. I said, I took the $5 bill. I said, I'm going to pay you back. Left that church, went down to the next church, St. John Berkman on Logan Boulevard. There was a paper boy there selling papers when masks get out. I robbed his cigar box, and I ended up walking over to Diversity and Damon by the projects to the Insane Deuces. That was their neighborhood. So I walk up, and I see a guy I know, Yogi. He was one of the chiefs. He seen me come, and he's yelling, Bobby boy. As I got closer, he looked at me and goes, what the hell happened to you? I said, man, I'm in a bad way. So I said, I got money for a bag. Could you give me 2? And he did. So that was a Sunday. Somehow that night, I made it out to my mother's house. Unbeknown to me, she let me spend the night there. 6:30 in the morning, she kicks the bedroom door open. She goes, there's a phone call. It's for you. So, you know, back then there was no call waiting. There was no caller ID, just phones with long cords. So I go to the kitchen. I pick the phone up. I go, hello. And they hung up. So as I'm walking back to the bedroom, I go, you know, that wasn't good. Next thing I hear my mother say, the police are in the driveway. If you go out the back window, I'm telling them where you're at. I had just OD'd at my mother's house twice in the last 6 months on cocaine. So I walk up to the back door or the side door. I turn around, they handcuffed me, and they arrested me. And that was the last day that I got high. The day before that, okay? And so in 1998, I was with a lady friend, and we were in Puerto Vallarta. And I wear this medal today. It's the Our Lady of Guadalupe, which is the Virgin Mary in the Spanish world. So I get this medal. We're walking past the church. The cathedral in Puerto Vallarta is Our Lady of Guadalupe. So the lady I'm with is Jewish. She goes, hey, doofus, don't you want to get that medal blessed? And I didn't even think of it. So we go into the church. We get led upstairs to the second floor. Young girl, she doesn't speak a lick of English. I don't speak a lick of Spanish. And calls the priest. He comes out. He can tell I was eating. He was wiping his face off with a napkin. He's hugging us. He's blessing us. He blesses the medal. So on the way out the door, I'm not thinking. Again, she goes, aren't you going to make a donation? I go, oh, I didn't think of it. So I go in my pocket. I got a bundle of Mexican currency. And then I went through it, and I found an American $5 bill. So I gave it to the girl at the counter, and I paid my debt back, the $5.
I love that. Absolutely love that. Guys, Bob Schmalz on the show. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back, guys. For those of you who are listening and not watching, that was New Choices Treatment Center here in San Antonio, Texas, premier substance abuse facility, www.newchoicestc.com, or call them 726-888-7003 or 210-910-5154. Remember, it's www.newchoicestc.com. Such a great center. Bob, tell me about Sergeant Dennis. Because I know you mentioned him in the book. I mean, and this must be the guy that's kind of turned your life all around.
Oh, it was major. I was in the 16th district, Chicago police station, and I'm handcuffed to the wall. I just matter of fact, this was probably a month before my last arrest at my mother's house. So I was breaking into a truck, a van, and I was in a stolen car. I had the stolen car parked by the alley. I get hit in the head with these gauges, and I couldn't get back to the car, so I had to take off on foot. So I take off on foot. I had $1 to my name, enough to get on the bus. So I got on the bus. We made it about a block, and 3 squad cars pull us over. So I ended up in the 16th district. So I'm handcuffed up there, and I'm up there for a while. These two two detectives walk in, and the first guy, Dennis McNerney's partner, he was starting to get a little aggressive, and Sergeant McNerney says, "Hey, go get a coffee. Let me talk to this guy." So he said, Bobby, he goes, he shakes my hand like a gentleman. He said, "I've been trying to catch you for 6 years. You've been busy." He said, "I'm with the Cook County Special Operations North because we were robbing construction sites." And he starts talking. He goes, "I did my homework." He goes, "I know you went to St. Patrick's High School. You came from a good family. I know you played hockey." He said, "You're a little smarter than this." And he said to me, "You're still young enough to get some help and have a life, And that's when he looked at me and he said, "Aren't you tired of living like this?" And I took those words with me through the county jail, through treatment, all the way. So when I got out, I started as a fence contractor, residential fence contractor for Truling Fence. I started my own fence company, Premier Fence Corp. I was in the North Shore for 10 years. In 1999, we did 1.1 million sales. Then we had 9/11 and a few things happened. But I was with my girl. We were at the Golf Mill, and it was Christmas. I bought my mother a big TV for Christmas. We're waiting to get it. And two Niles police officers come out. And so I give them a card. I said, "Look, if you see Sergeant McNerney, give this to him." So that spring, I get a call to my answering service. And by the way, those were the last words he said to me at the 16th District. We shook hands. He said, "Bobby, I wish you lots of luck, but I got you on these two." So so we get out, and I bought my mother TV, and there's two Niles police officers bringing a shoplifter out. So I handed my card. I said, "Give this to Sergeant McNerney when you see him." So I had an answering service. That spring, I got a call, McNerney. I go, "This got to be him." So immediately I made the call, made the appointment, went out to his house, pulled up in the driveway, across the driveway. I'm walking up the driveway. He steps out of the side of the house. He goes, "How you doing, Bobby?" I go, "Hi, Sarge." He goes, "No, it's Captain now." He said, I got to be honest with you. I got your card from my guys. I talked to my boss. We had you checked out with OCU, Organized Crime Unit, Special Operations. You haven't been busy. So he goes, "I want you to do my fence." I built his fence, his neighbor's fence.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he asked me to do a garbage enclosure for him. Okay. And so when I went to get the check, I was intimidated to ask for the extra. So I didn't. So back then they had cell phones. They didn't have caller ID. It just said call. The name didn't come up. It was like a brick. So I'm on my way to my girl's house and the phone rings. He goes, "Hey, Bobby, it's Dennis." I said, "Yeah, what's up?" He goes, "Don't I owe you for something?" I said, I'll tell you what, Sarge. I said, or Captain, I said, "You know what? You take that, you donate it to your favorite police organization. If I can use your name for traffic stops." He said, "Have a great day." So I ended up doing the chief of detectives house. I did a K9. They had a K9. I did cages for them. He gave me a bunch of jobs. But the biggest thing where I knew that I was right where I was supposed to be, because I'm sitting in my storefront one day and the postman comes in. He goes, "You got to sign for this." I go, "What's this?" He goes, "It's from the county." I go, "What did I do now?" So I open it. It's a bid package from Cook County for 3,000 feet of fence inside and around Cook County Jail.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Well,
oh wow.
And I won the bid.
Damn.
That's
So
awesome.
I got chills. Damn.
Yeah.
So there's nothing like coming full circle, right, Bobby?
Yeah. There was 8 other companies that bid this job. And the funny thing about it, that I needed a union fence guy, and the guy that I used when I was going up to the county jail speaking at NA and AA, I met a guy up there that was a union fence contractor. So he gave me his number. He got probation for whatever case he had, and I ended up using him to do the job. So I got pictures of the whole job. I mean, it's listen, God has they say God speaks through people. He's been in my ear for a long time.
Grabbing your attention, no doubt, Bob.
Oh,
that's what he does. He grabs your attention, takes you through some stuff. You think it's a piece of shit at the time or bad luck. You get out, and all of a sudden, shit gets real. You start living the life you're supposed to live with all the information and all the experience that you've been through. So when people see you, I go through the same thing, and they go, "Oh, Bob, what do you know?" Look at you, and you go, "Oh, hang on a second, I did blah blah," and you go through all your trials and tribulations. Right. So what I'd like to ask you and explain and go through, just for everybody listening and possibly the counties that may listen, is talk to me about the lack of treatment in prison.
You know what? It's needed. You know what? I look at it like this. These guys are coming in prison. They have criminal cases, nothing major. They're drug addicts. You know what? They give them $10 now when they leave. They don't give you an opportunity to get a state ID, or there's no programs in there. There's no trade programs. There's no programs. So what do they expect these guys to do? To get out and do the same thing. See, I was never afraid to go to prison. I was afraid of getting out because I didn't know what I was going to do. Well, I did get out the first 2 times, but it's needed. Listen, I think you would cut down the recidivist rate tremendously. It would save taxpayers a lot of money. Now, you're not going to save everybody, but like they say, the ratios. When I was in Gateway, let me stop right there. When I was in Gateway, they had about 100 of us in a room. And Daryl and Winston Ward was my counselor, and Daryl was there. And he goes, "How many of you MFers are going to make it?" Stood up immediately and put my hand right up. I was the only guy that stood up out of 100 people because I knew, I knew in my heart that I was done, But it's a great feeling to know that you have blind faith and things are working in your favor.
So talk to me today about what keeps you sober, what keeps you honest, and the work that you do in the prison.
Okay, well, put it like this. I haven't stole a piece of bubble gum since I've been out, because actually I had a kid that worked for me, Johnny Bobo. I've had 3 guys that worked for me that were convicts that have started their own businesses, have been successful, are married and own homes and businesses now. I had this kid, he was a biker, Johnny Bobo. He came to me. I would get my cedar from a place in Chicago called Bob Jack's. Bob Jack's was a perfect gentleman. When I started dealing with him, I went up to him and told him my whole story before I heard it from somebody else. And we had a gentleman's agreement. He gave me a line of credit. So Johnny Bobo, I called one day. I said, "Bob, I need 40 2x4s." He goes, "Yeah, send your guys by to get them." So Johnny comes back. He goes, "Hey, boss." He goes, "I took 60." I said, "You know what, Johnny? I appreciate you looking out for me, but you know what? You're going to go to jail when he finds out, not me." And so what I did automatically, I called Bob and I told him we took 20 more than we had to. Because if I'm taking 20 2x4s one time, 20 the next, I'm thinking of a truckload down the line. That's just how my mind operated. I mean, we were stealing Bobcats, truckloads of liquor, truckloads of cookies, nylons. I mean, running around in stolen cars with scanners. And, it just grew and grew and grew. But that's the neighborhood I came from.
I've never heard that before. I want to repeat what you just said, Bo, because it was so powerful then. Is if I do $20 now, I'm doing a truckload later on.
Yeah. Well, yeah. See, that's it. If I know I can steal a small amount, then I'm going to.
Oh, no, don't say he's gone. Bob, where are you? We need you. It was that pinnacle point. So far, so good. Hey, let's go to commercial break and then let's see if we can get Bobby back. Thanks, guys.
Okay,
Back in 2 seconds. Welcome back, guys. Again, if you're just watching, listening, not watching, those New Choices. Can't say enough about these guys here in San Antonio, Texas. The premier substance abuse facility, www.newchoices, T for treatment, C for center.com, newchoicestc.com. Give them a call, 210-910-5154. They do everything, guys. They're kind of our go-to guys for detox, for treatment, for everything. Don't forget, www.newchoicestc.com. We seem to have lost him. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. But
well,
what an incredible story.
I know, that was good. He's got some good stories in there.
Can't believe some of the stuff. Ooh, heavy.
Do we want to try to get him back? What do we want to do?
Yeah, I've just sent another link, see if we can get him back. And from the interim period, it's just me and you. So while we've got some time, why don't we tell everybody about the ultimate coach training? Yeah,
go ahead, you start.
So guys, if you visit, the website we always talk about, recovermecoaching.com. If you visit that, you'll see some of the courses, and absolutely amazing. So visit it and see the coaching course. It starts on the 13th, which is only a couple of days away. But listen, if you want to jump on, great. If you want a payment plan, great. If you're thinking of becoming a coach, believe me, this is the program. Myself and Jennifer, and I truly believe, and I'm going to put myself out there, between me and Jennifer, there's probably no other couple you could get that knows as much as we do. And what we're doing is we're passing all the information on to you in this amazing course. Now, it costs $4,500 because there's 100 hours and 10 modules. And we're going to walk you through, and we're always going to be there. And basically what it is, it's from the beginning of your coaching right to the end when you're billing people, when you're invoicing people. And we're going to take you through the whole lot until you build your brand and build your business with you over them 10 weeks. So it's not just a new recovery training course. It's got nothing to do with that. We're going to cover stuff that no other coaching program does. We're talking about all the stuff that Jen knows, all the stuff that I know, put together in an amazing format. We got Bobby back. Let's bring Bobby back on. Bobby, thank God for that. I thought we'd missed you then. Lost you forever.
Yeah. So like I was saying, that's how my criminal mind works. Yeah. I had from 77 to 82, I worked with a partner, Big Louie. And him and I were like Jesse James and Frank James on the criminal element. They called us Babaloo. Our pictures were, his especially, was in every police station on the north side of the city. He was there, and then the word went out was, all right, we know who Louie is. Who's this guy, the B? Because that's who they called me. But I had major fences. I could have sold anything back then. And that's just because of the neighborhood and the area I came from.
But Bobby, what I want to say is that, I think that that's every addict. I mean, Dr. Rob, before you came on today, we were just joking about, I said, I use the shampoo in my hotel room. It sucks. Right. Dr. Rob's like, oh, I always take those things. And the thing is it's in the addict brain.
Right.
You take one, you need to take 10 because right. You're not satisfied. You're never satisfied. It's never good enough.
Exactly. Absolutely. No.
Yeah.
And
so talk to us about how you use your stories inside of prisons today, how you've gone back to the scene of the crime, if you will, or living in there, the trauma of being in prison, and how you're sharing your experience, hope, and strength.
Well, I tell them like it is. When I was up there, they would call them role models that come from the street, and I'd hear their stories, and they said something that hit me. They said, you know what? If I can do this, you can do this. And that's what I tell them. It's simple, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
You got to change your people, places, and things. See,
Mm.
when I went to outpatient treatment after I got out of the joint, she kept me in 3 months or 6 months longer. Pat Cook did. She was a clinical supervisor because she wanted to keep me away from my element because I was working. I didn't have a driver's license. I took the bus everywhere. I was fortunate enough when I went for my driver's license, the hearing officer I had was like an angel. She helped me get my license. She said, you know what? I'm going to help you get your license. She goes, if I hear of a little birdie tells me or anybody, I just get a dream that you're behind the wheel of a car, you ain't going to get a license for years. So I stood it out and I finally got my driver's license. And
Wow.
I think I've had one ticket since I've been home. That's it.
That's
My
amazing.
question is to that one ticket is, did you mention the captain?
No, it was in Chicago.
I thought you might have done for a second. I love the way that you know, people in the criminal world, especially mixing with drugs, has nicknames. Big Lou, Johnny Bobo, Rush Street Ronnie. I just love that. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, Rush Street Ronnie, he was, you know, they had a PC. You know, nowadays they cook meth, but they were making PCP in the hills of Tennessee back then.
Yeah.
And that was a
Made a lot
big
of
money
money.
maker.
Yeah, definitely. So what you do today, Bob? Tell people what you do today.
Well, I started out with a residential fence company. I rolled into remodeling. I built a couple of houses. I've rehabbed a bunch of houses. Oh, God, I was building porches and custom front porches and 2- and 3-story back porches. But in 2018, I fell through a deck and I tore 3 tendons in my shoulder. So I'm kind of done with remodeling. I'd like to get into some type of coaching or get into the prisons and speak.
We got a great program for you.
I was just gonna say.
We do. Yeah. Go on, Jen. Go.
Oh, we're starting Dr. Rob and we're putting on a recovery coach program. It starts on Saturday. If you'd like to join us.
Oh, for sure.
You will walk away a coach.
Yeah, I'm putting a website together. You know, you can. My website for my fence company is PEHI1.com. It's outdated, but you can go there and see some of the work I did and some of the. You know, there's a place called Gigi's Playhouse in the Chicagoland area. It's Down Syndrome Foundation. Nancy Gianni created it. I've been to their black tie affairs. You know, I got a soft heart for kids with disabilities. I have a cousin that has a boy that has Down syndrome. But yeah, I mean, I do what I can. You know,
Well,
I'm a member. Go ahead.
Your heart is big. I can tell. You know, with all of that criminal activity, there's always this really soft little mushy part of you know, of ourselves, right? And I can really see that, you know, and it sounds like you've been rehabbing a lot of homes and you've been recovering a lot of homes and a lot of fences. And now maybe it's time for you to work on the other people's hearts and recover their hearts.
I agree. Let me explain something to you. I did some work for some people, some newscasters. I worked for Chris Kennedy from the Kennedy family. He lived in Kenilworth, in the North Shore. Judge Sharon Coleman, a federal judge, I worked at her house. None of these people had any idea of my past. Now I'm sure the judge did, because I'm sure I wasn't working at her house if she didn't run my name. But I don't know. I couldn't have planned it any better when I came home from prison. The way things just fell in order for me. You know, it's like it was meant to be, you know. But
yeah, I love it. That's God's work right there, right?
Absolutely.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want to leave people with, Bob? What do you want people to know?
It's a tough one, you know, because everybody's different. Okay, everybody gets sober, clean their own way. But what I like to tell them is, if you don't have a God or have some faith, find a God, find some spirituality. That's key. I believe it's key to getting sober, getting clean, and staying clean.
Mm-hmm.
And and forgive yourself.
Yeah, forgiving yourself is huge.
Which I had a hard time with that. You know, I didn't think I was deserving of all these accomplishments that I was making. But I grew up with a guy. He passed away. I had a 50th birthday party. I had 60 people come to my 50th birthday party. Here, before I turned 30, I stayed at my mother's house the week before I turned 30. I left on my 30th birthday. She goes, "What the hell was that about? Was somebody after you?" I said, "I just wanted to make sure I lived to see 30." So, yeah, my best friend died on my 50th birthday party, Bobby Schmalz. He was my mentor in business. He worked for a major corporation, never had a day of college, high school guy, off the corner, became the CEO of this company. And unfortunately, cancer got him at the age of 49.
That's crazy. That's too early, Bob.
Yeah.
As we both know. Listen, let's talk real quick because we're running out of time. Let's talk about your book. And I've got a copy here, guys. It's a pretty cool book, actually. I've started reading it. It's called Rescued.
Yep.
So it's going to come out in April. So keep watching the show, and we'll plug it on our Facebook as well, myself and Jennifer. But just give us a quick Cliff Notes version of the book.
It's my whole life story, from how I was a little punk, from a good kid to a little punk, to getting involved with drugs. I never graduated high school. What happened was I failed 7th grade, and that's where it all went kind of haywire. Because when we went to the school for a meeting with the nun, you know, she goes, "Yeah, Robert's not doing well. We should fail." And my father said, "Okay." Didn't ask any questions, just said, "Okay." And then he told me, "You're grounded." And so that was the beginning of me, the turn in my life. So I was 15 when I graduated 8th grade. But that's where it all started.
Yeah. I love that you got a deal with Simon & Schuster, because publishers don't give much deals anymore. So I love that you got that. Congratulations. It seems like God is got your back, my friend.
He's at it.
Yeah, for sure. So, anything that you want to share with our audience about keep going? What's next? What's next for you? What do you want to share with them in terms of some inspiration?
Like I said, you got to forgive yourself. You got to start loving yourself. Make amends to the people you love. Never give up. Even with my job and my work in my life, there's a word that's not in my vocabulary. Can't.
Yeah.
Definitely. I love the way. I love that. Can't. Exactly. There's nothing we can't do when we put some into it. Hey, listen.
Yep.
Sorry, Bobby. We're running out of time, unfortunately. So I want to thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you so much for the work you do today. And I got some chills running down my neck when you hear some of your story. It won't be the last time we speak to you. I'm going to put your book online coming up to April. Let me know where we can buy it, and then we'll keep in touch, Bob. But thank you so much, man. That was absolutely awesome.
Thank you. God bless.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bob. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for being so honest, and thank you for continuing to do your inner work and never giving up on yourself. Yep. You're an inspiration.
Thank you.
Awesome, guys. Bob Schmalz was on the show. Such a great guy. We'll be right back after this to say bye-bye.
Wait, you want some more?
Was our guys for the Monty Man from 12 Step Radio. Such a great man. He was on the show. I think it was a week before last. Me and Jen was on the show. He's a CEO and executive promotion. Visit the show. Take12radio.com.
He's amazing. Wow. I love that.
such a great show, Jen. I don't know. It's like when you get these people that's not in the spotlight, but has an amazing story. It's just, I don't know. Sometimes, I don't know. It just seems awesome.
It does. I mean, and that's the thing is like your story is my story is your story, and on and on and on. And it's how we connect. It's beautiful. I like Bobby's story.
I know. Awesome. Stick around, guys. Listen, if you want a couple of bucks free, just let me know. The Addiction Diaries from Jen and Daddy, please stop drinking. There's also the mugs. Don't forget us. We're asking, we're giving the mugs away free, but obviously shipping can cost a few dollars. So if it's hardly nothing, we'll send it free. But if you're living in a foreign country, then we're going to have to ask to pay for shipping. And don't forget, guys, the Ultimate Recovery Coach Training, www.recoverycoaching.com. Big thanks to Courtney Davis. She's our outreach director. She's getting the guests every week. So if you reach out to her, if you want to be on the show, there's a bit of a waiting list, but we'll get you on as soon as possible. But thank you for watching the show, guys.
I thought for a second that you said you were giving away bucks, a couple bucks. I was like, wow, you're giving away money.
Cups, mucks, yeah. We'll give you a few bucks as well. Don't worry. I can't believe I just said buck. You can tell my ceremony is on Wednesday, can't you? I'm starting to speak American now. Bucks. What else? Bucks. Dollars. That's a couple of dollars for the mug. Oh my God, I'm turning American, y'all. Oh my God, I just said y'all.
Oh, you're so funny. All right, guys. See you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.